The atmosphere in Berea is shifting, tangible, electric, and unrelenting. Something unfamiliar is bubbling beneath the surface in Cleveland, and it's far more than the typical offseason enthusiasm. Browns fans, brace yourselves. What's unfolding behind the walls of the Browns facility this summer might just become one of the most riveting and transformative storylines the franchise has witnessed in years. This team isn't tweaking, it's overhauling itself from the inside out. And every decision they make sends a resounding message about their ambitions. And I'm here to break it all down for you, so smash that like button and drop your take on Kevin Stefanski in the comments. Some want him out. Others say he deserves a shot at redemption. Where do you stand? The Cleveland Browns have shattered the old mold and thrown caution to the wind. The days of timid, injury-conscious sessions are over. In their place, a new culture forged in grit, aggression, and confrontation. If you assume training camp would be another slow, sleepy build-up to week one, think again. The Browns aren't sitting back anymore. They're gearing up to hit first and hit hard. And the timing couldn't be more pivotal. The team has just released its training camp reporting schedule, confirming what insiders have whispered for weeks. Rookies are due in Berea on July 18th, followed by veterans on July 22. But these aren't just dates on a calendar. They mark the beginning of a cultural transformation. After limping to a 3-14 finish in 2024, Cleveland has completely revamped its health and performance operations. This isn't just about the X's and O's, it's about reprogramming the entire mindset. From preparation to conditioning, every detail is being redefined. And that transformation was already on full display during minicamp. The pace? Blistering. The intensity? Unmatched. This wasn't a no-contact walkthrough. This was a statement, a message to the locker room, to the rest of the league, and most importantly, to the dog pound. Cleveland is done playing defense. This team is building a new identity, one that throws the first punch. But underneath all this growing momentum is a brewing subplot that cannot be ignored, a storyline that's heating up just as the quarterback battle hits a boil. Enter Shedeur Sanders, the rookie whose draft journey was as turbulent as it was controversial. Once projected as a potential #1 overall pick, Sanders slipped all the way to the 5th round, not because of talent, but because of doubt. Concerns about his maturity, his demeanor, his adaptability, and now that narrative just found fresh fuel. Sanders was clocked doing 101 miles per hour in a 60 zone on I-71 North near Strongsville at 12:24 a.m., a traffic ticket. May not derail a career, but for a young quarterback trying to build credibility, it's a blow. It's not criminal, it won't get him suspended, but it threatens the momentum he's worked so hard to establish. Fox 8 in Cleveland broke the story, and the Browns have yet to respond publicly. A silence that speaks volumes. For a player still earning trust, this is the type of misstep that lingers in film rooms and coaching evaluations. Until now, Sanders had been gaining ground, making a legitimate case with the second team, proving he belonged in the quarterback conversation. He was beginning to distance himself from the chaos of draft night, but this incident reopens old wounds and reignites the most critical question: can he mature quickly enough to lead an NFL offense? This isn't a career-ending scandal, far from it, but it is a crucial test, one that may determine how short his leash is with the coaching staff and how much confidence he's lost or gained from teammates. And for fans who watched Deshaun Watson struggle behind a leaky offensive line last season, the thought of another quarterback conundrum isn't just frustrating, it's draining. Speaking of that Oleg, there's another name you need to have on your radar: Dawand Jones. While all eyes fixate on the quarterback carousel, the true X factor this season might be the man tasked with protecting the blind side. Dalton Wasserman of PFF didn't mince words when he called out Jones, and we'll dive into that in the next segment. Branded with that label after back-to-back season-ending injuries and surrounded by a group of aging veterans, Dawand Jones now stands as Cleveland's only youthful pillar on the offensive line. His talent is undeniable, but this season it's not just about potential, it's about availability, dependability, and leadership. He must be the guy. The pressure is immense. With 2 first-round picks in the 2026 NFL Draft, how the 2025 season plays out could redefine the franchise's trajectory, but to even reach that inflection point, the Browns will need more than headlines. They'll need Jones to stay healthy and Shedeur Sanders to stay locked in. And while the spotlight naturally follows those marquee names, savvy fans should shift their focus to a quiet riser. Cornerback Cameron Mitchell. After logging just 34% of defensive snaps last season, Mitchell has emerged as a dark horse contributor, suddenly poised to become a critical piece of Cleveland's evolving secondary. With Greg Newsome II and Martin Emerson Jr. both entering contract years, Mitchell could very well be the future, and the front office seems to agree. They didn't sign a single cornerback this offseason, not by accident, but by design. That's not just a vote of trust, it's a bold statement of belief. Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because here's the twist. This rebuild isn't just about raw talent, it's about timing, trust, and transformation. The Browns aren't chasing external flash, they're cultivating internal fire. That's why players like Mitchell aren't viewed as backup plans, they're integral to the blueprint. Cleveland is making calculated moves, and the message is clear. The future core might already be in the building, and for a fan base craving stability, that's a beacon of hope. Mitchell's low-key consistency and positional versatility are exactly what this new team identity demands. He doesn't need to go viral, he just needs to be rock solid. And if Cleveland's bet on him proves correct, he might not just be the next man up. He could be the next man to build around, lining up alongside Denzel Ward in a reimagined secondary. This training camp will be the litmus test, but don't expect the road to be smooth. Teams that finish 3-14 don't just flip the switch overnight. There will be mistakes, doubts, growing pains, and the pressure, it's already boiling, and we haven't even reached week 1. Deshaun Watson, assuming he retains the starting role, must elevate his game behind an offensive line still forging its identity. That line must in turn protect well enough for any quarterback to function. The defense must continue to bring heat, but with fewer penalties and more consistency. The coaching staff understands the magnitude of what's at stake. That's why they've torn up the old risk-averse manual, replacing it with fast, physical, full context sessions. That's why the entire culture is being rebuilt from the ground up, and that's why this training camp may go down as the most pivotal in the Andrew Berry era. Every rep, every meeting, every off-field decision, it all matters. Whether it's Shedeur Sanders proving his maturity and earning a second chance, whether it's Dawand Jones finally proving he can last a full season under pressure, or whether it's Cameron Mitchell emerging from the shadows into a starring role, these aren't off-season side stories. These are the foundations of Cleveland's 2025 campaign. Something feels different this year, not just in Berea, but across the city. It's in the energy of fan forums, in the obsessive scrolling of training camp updates, in the way Cleveland holds its breath with every roster move. This time, it's not about hype. It's about substance. This team is being built with intention, with grit, with vision. So I want to hear from you. Do you believe in this cultural reset? Is Shedeur Sanders worth the patience? Can Dawand Jones and Cameron Mitchell rise under pressure? Drop your take in the comments, and if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and smash that notification bell so you never miss a beat of Browns football. Let's talk football, Cleveland. Your voice matters. Go Browns, yo dog pound. Strap on those helmets and buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into a sizzling update straight from the heart of Cleveland Browns training camp. Picture this: a fifth-round rookie quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, marching onto the turf at First Energy Stadium on September 7th, 2025, locking eyes with the Cincinnati Bengals defense like he owns the entire gridiron. This isn't just a warm-up. It's the making of history. We're talking about a young gunslinger who could etch his name into NFL lore by becoming one of the few fifth-round or later quarterbacks to start Week 1, a feat that hasn't been accomplished since the disco era. The dog pound is howling. The entire NFL universe is fixated on this developing saga, and the quarterback tension in Cleveland is hotter than a tailgate barbecue in July. So let's rip into this wildfire of a rumor, unpack what it means for our beloved Browns, and get you amped for the most electric season we've seen in years. Grab your orange and brown, because this ride's about to get loud. Let's get real, dog pound. This news is seismic. The Cleveland Browns detonated the 2025 NFL Draft when they leapt into the 5th round to snatch Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado with the 144th overall pick. This wasn't just a pick, it was grand larceny. Many draft analysts had Sanders as a first-round caliber talent, but he tumbled down the board into day 3. Cleveland didn't flinch. They surged forward like a linebacker chasing a live fumble, and now the league is buzzing with talk that Sanders might pull off the impossible, start week 1 as a 5th-round rookie. That's a historical anomaly. Only a handful of quarterbacks have managed that since the 1967 NFL-AFL merger, Dak Prescott in 2016 being the most recent, and now Sanders may join that ultra-rare fraternity. The fire started in Berea, where Sanders has been lighting up OTAs and minicamp like a battle-hardened vet. According to Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com, Sanders is legitimately in contention for the starting gig despite being buried at 4th on the depth chart behind veterans Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and fellow rookie Dillon Gabriel. And get this, Cabot dropped a stat that might knock the wind out of you. The last quarterback drafted this late to start a season opener was Randy Hedberg, an 8th rounder for the Bucs in 1977. If Shedeur takes that first snap against the Bengals, he'll be breaking barriers and writing records. But let's not sugarcoat it. This ain't no fairy tale just yet. Sanders hasn't even sniffed first-team reps in full 11-on-11 drills, with Flacco and Pickett hogging the lion's share, and Gabriel getting sprinkled in thanks to his 3rd-round pedigree. Still, Sanders is turning heads with what little he's been given. Case in point, a 60-yard touchdown bomb to rookie wideout Gage Larvadain, a laser so pristine it made people forget he was a day 3 pick. Social media exploded. X is ablaze with fans and insiders claiming Sanders has already leapfrogged Pickett, currently sitting at 25% odds to start week 1, just behind Flacco's 60%. And whispers are growing louder. He might be outperforming Gabriel too. No small feat, considering Gabriel came in riding the hype of being Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Right now, the Browns' quarterback room is a war zone. Meanwhile, the quarterback room is tense. Gabriel's draft status buys him time. Sure, he's a 3rd-rounder. There's capital invested, but the tape doesn't lie. Kenny Pickett hasn't separated himself either, and Flacco, as steady and respected as he is, isn't the long-term answer. So, all eyes are shifting to Shedeur, and while fans flood social media with memes of uncles and nephews dancing at weddings, Shedeur and Flacco, they're not just dancing for laughs, they're playing for hope. Browns fans have seen too many quarterback dreams fade. They want to believe, they want to ride this wave into September. But let's pivot, because while the quarterback storyline is ablaze, there's another narrative brewing on the other side of the ball. A tale equally potent, if not more so. Enter Myles Garrett. The Browns went all in, a staggering $160 million 0-cents extension, the richest ever for a non-quarterback. That's not just a payday, it's a declaration. Garrett is the cornerstone of this defense. He's the foundation. And now he must deliver more than stats. He must deliver a culture, a standard. Jim Schwartz summed it up perfectly, quoting Spider-Man, "With great power comes great responsibility." Garrett has the sacks, the accolades, the Pro Bowls, but now he carries the weight of the entire franchise's defensive hopes. And the Browns didn't stop at signing a check. They gave him reinforcements. Mason Graham, their top draft pick. Carson Schweisinger, a tackling machine at linebacker. 2 rookies, 2 puzzle pieces chosen with surgical precision. Let's talk about Graham. He wasn't the obvious choice. The Browns passed on blue-chip prospects like Travis Hunter to get him. Why? Because they believe Graham, lining up next to Garrett, could become a nightmare for opposing offenses. Schwartz's defense is built on pressure, chaos, and disruption, and when Garrett draws double or even triple teams, it creates a highway for Graham to feast. If Graham hits, if he becomes that guy, the Browns could have a defensive front that devours games week in and week out. And what about Carson Schweizinger? The kid is raw, still learning, but he's a heat-seeking missile. 136 tackles, 90 solo, with the instincts to be a sideline-to-sideline threat. He's stepping into a linebacker core that lost its heart when Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah went down with that devastating neck injury. Joke may not play this season, but he's still here. On the sidelines, coaching, leading, his spirit lingers. And that matters, because this defense isn't just being built on pressure and tackles. It's being built on unity, identity, and purpose. While the national media might be laser-focused on Cleveland's quarterback carousel, let me tell you right now, this team is stockpiling ammunition on both sides of the ball. The Browns aren't just gearing up for a season, they're preparing for a transformation. If Shedeur Sanders proves he's the one, if Mason Graham explodes next to Garrett, if Schweizinger settles in and JOK returns in 2026, this could mark the dawn of a new Browns era. Not a rebuild, not a maybe next year. A full-throttle, take-no-prisoners ascent. So now, I'm turning the mic to you. If you're Andrew Berry, what's your move? Do you ride the wave with Sanders and hand him the reins early, or do you stay the course with the veterans while Sanders marinates? And on defense, are you already sensing the makings of the league's most fearsome front seven? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and hit subscribe if you're ready to ride with me all season long. This season, I don't just see Garrett showing up as a dominant pass rusher. I see him emerging as the emotional and physical tone setter for this entire defense. Let's be honest, that's what we've needed. The Browns have had flashes of defensive brilliance before, but now we need sustained greatness. Garrett, with all eyes on him, looks locked in and ready to take that next step. He's not just leading with his play, he's mentoring, raising the bar higher than ever before. Shedeur Sanders could be that guy. His arm strength, field vision, and football intelligence fit the profile. But his rise isn't just about talent, it's about trust, timing, and deliberate coaching decisions. Let's talk about the current quarterback room. Dillon Gabriel, a third-round pick, has flashed promise. Kenny Pickett offers some game day experience. Joe Flacco, the veteran, provides short-term insurance. In the midst of this, Shedeur is the wild card. Is he being groomed for something greater, or is he being tucked away as a developmental experiment? That's what makes this saga so intriguing. Because in the NFL, it's never just about skill. It's about narratives, timelines, and political pecking orders. Some talents shine early, others are hidden too long. The Browns are dancing right on that edge. This moment, right now, could end up being one of the most pivotal in Cleveland Browns history. Will they unleash Shedeur Sanders and ride the wave of youthful firepower, or will they suppress his emergence and risk letting frustration grow inside the building? And among the fan base? Just imagine the potential. A young Shedeur, after months of study and growth, taking the field and leading a surprise playoff charge. With Deshaun Watson sidelined from a devastating Achilles tear, likely done for the entire 2025 season, Cleveland is fielding an all-out battle royale for QB1. Joe Flacco, the 40-year-old playoff warrior. Kenny Pickett, the ex-Steelers first-rounder on a redemption arc. Dillon Gabriel, the compact but tough-as-nails Oregon standout. Shedeur Sanders, the underdog with star power and a cannon arm. Sanders' collegiate resume? By 4,345 yards, 37 touchdowns, and a 70.1% completion rate in his final season. Proof that he's more than hype. But skeptics point to one issue. He took 52 sacks in 2024, a result of holding the ball too long. Can he speed up his reads and adapt to the NFL's lightning pace? Let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about one quarter. This is about a franchise starving for stability under center. Since returning to the NFL in 1999, the Browns have started 37 different quarterbacks. From Tim Couch to Charlie Fry, Brady Quinn, Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, and now the turbulent Deshaun Watson era, it's been a carousel of disappointment. The Watson trade was meant to be the answer, 3 first-round picks, and a fully guaranteed $230 million 0-cents contract. Instead, a nightmare marred by injuries, off-field chaos, and inconsistent play. Even owner Jimmy Haslam has since called it a mistake. So now the search for the next savior begins again. And that's where Shedeur Sanders steps in. The kid's got royalty in his blood. The son of NFL Hall of Famer Deion Prime Sanders, Shedeur grew up in the spotlight. From Jackson State to Colorado, he threw for over 10,000 yards and 99 touchdowns in 3 seasons. He displayed an arm capable of making every throw and pocket presence that drew comparisons to Russell Wilson. So, why the fall? Some teams questioned his maturity. Others were wary of his high sack numbers, and a few simply didn't want the media frenzy that the Sanders name brings. But Cleveland saw potential gold buried under media noise. GM Andrew Berry confessed the team had Sanders graded as a second-round talent. So when he slid into the 5th, they leapt, trading a 6th rounder to move up and snag him. Thank you